Hey, good morning and welcome to episode number 13 on our Proverbs 2.0 series, where today we're going to talk about medicine. You know, the thing that we usually take after we get sick? Well, it doesn't always have to be that way. We're going to examine Proverbs 17 verse 22 and realize that there's some things that we can add into our life that's going to be good medicine for our hearts. So let's get started. You know, health is a funny thing. Usually we only begin to recognize it when something goes wrong. You know, I notice my breath when I have shortness of breath. I notice my body only after it begins to hurt and there's pain or there's suffering that goes along with it. I notice my stomach when I have a stomach ache. There's a lot of things that we do to ourselves that usually cause these things to happen. And we don't always recognize that these things are actually causing us to suffer. So when we see Proverbs 17 verse 22 and it says this, "A joyful heart is a good medicine, but a broken spirit dries up the bones." Another version says it hurts all over. And then even another one says it drains one's strength. There's a lot of things that we'll recognize after the fact. I have a really good friend recently who just suffered from a heart attack. He was telling me his story and he said that one of his arteries was 100% blocked and the other one was 80% blocked. And he suffered a heart attack as a result. Once the doctors went in and cleared up the arteries, he said he felt like he was 10 years younger. See, the problem with that, of course, is that there was probably 10 years of that building up blockage inside of his arteries. The result is a heart attack. But there's so many things that we can do in our lives to prevent some of those things from taking place. Now, it's not always a guarantee, but our health is something that God truly cares for. And you know, there's a lot of things that we can add into it, like we talked about yesterday, that God's goodness will actually influence the way that we in fact feel. And in Proverbs 17, it says, it's good medicine. Medicine isn't something that we only need to take after the fact. See, medicine is all around us. It's going out and enjoying sunlight. It's eating a healthy, proper, nutritious meal. And it's being around people that make you feel alive. All of that influences the body scientifically in a way that perpetuates a good heart. It perpetuates a healthy lifestyle. So when we realize we can start doing things long before we ever need to take actual medicine. While actual medicine is great after the fact, there are so many things that God's called us to do and how to treat ourselves that we can actually take progressive action towards doing it now. Let's check out 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 19. It says, "Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from God?" I know we've all heard this verse before, but now that we've taken Proverbs 2.0 and we're realizing that we need to add the Holy Spirit into it, we realize that there's so much more depth to the wisdom that Proverbs offers. First and foremost, the Holy Spirit reigns inside of you, and it reigns inside of me. And the more you take care of yourself, and the more I take care of myself, the more we can better take care of one another. I never want any one of my friends to ever go through what my friend had to go through. But I also know that God uses things like that to call us back to his presence. We realize that when our health goes bad, we need to better take care of us. See, suffering is the exact same way in all of our lives. It's a way of God calling us back to live the life that he's always wanted us to have. And so when we're doing that, we're constantly living in the goodness of God. And a joyful heart is good medicine. So I want to encourage you with that today. No condemnation, no resentment, no, man, I haven't been doing in the past, but God, can I move forward in this today? So here's what I'd love for you to do. I want you to consult the Holy Spirit. I want you to pray, and I want you to ask God, what are the things that he's been calling you to do, and make some steps towards that. Every single one of us can say we've been sick, and all of us have taken medicine to feel better. But what are the things that we can truly add into our lives so that we can have a joyful heart? Because after all, that's great medicine. So what is it for you? What are the things that you need to add into your life that you know God's been calling you to do for some time now? And what are some practical steps that you can go ahead and take? Because God's calling on our life isn't just for our spiritual life, but it's truly also for our physical life. Because when we better take care of the bodies that he's entrusted us with, the Holy Spirit can work through us. As always, guys, we love you and can't wait for you to have a fantastic day.